Alright you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dylan Lustig, and in today's video we're going to talk about the only 5 mods you need for your 5th gen Camaro. Before we get into the video, there's 2 things I wanted to say. Number 1, I wanted to say thank you. The channel reached 600 subscribers, and that's another milestone, so thank you guys for subscribing. I know I haven't posted in a while. I think I'll make a separate video on that, on sort of, I guess, life happening, but I did want to say thank you to you guys. I obviously couldn't have done it without you guys. Everybody that's found my videos useful, all of that stuff. I'm happy that you guys have subscribed, joined along, that you're enjoying the videos, and just thank you, man. Okay, now the second thing I want to say is sort of just qualifying myself. So who am I to tell you what 5 mods you need for your Camaro and why they're important? Really quickly, if you don't know, my name is Dylan Lustig. I'm the owner of this 5th gen Camaro, and I've had this car for about 3 or 4 years. Everything that I've done to the car, I've done myself, and that's something I'm super proud of. So this car is a Texas Speed Stage 4 cam. It's got headers. I've got it lowered on lowering springs. Obviously, it's got aftermarket wheels. So I've got a lot of experience. I've torn this engine down. I've taken the transmission off. I put the torque converter on. All of that stuff is on the channel, by the way, so if you want to see that, it's all there. But all of that stuff I did myself. I built this car myself. I've gained a lot of experience, and then over the 4 years of owning the car, I've kind of gotten an insight onto what this car is like, what it likes, what mods it needs, what mods it doesn't. But I would say that these 5 mods are great starter mods for what you want to do, whatever route you want to do. If it's just a daily driver, if it's a drag car, if it's just a weekend warrior car, whatever it is, these 5 mods are a great way to either set the foundation or just make the car factory plus and give it, I guess, some life that it's missing from the factory. Okay, so for mod number 1, we're starting inside the car. It's going to be sort of a cop-out, but mod number 1 is going to be a driver mod. Every car is different. We know that, right? If you're a manual, if you're an automatic, whatever car, even if it's the same car from the same manufacturer, every car is different, right? Every car has its own soul. I made the mistake of, as soon as I got this car, as soon as it was in my driveway, I already had modifications ready for it in the garage. And that's a mistake that I think a lot of people make. They're so anxious to get into modifying the car that they don't even take the time to learn the car. So my recommendation to you guys is just take a couple of months to learn your cars, whether that's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however long, but take the time to learn your car. If your car is going to be a drag car, then take the time to go to the track with it stock and learn how it does on the track stock. Get some baseline numbers, get a draggy, do whatever you want to do, but do that stock. Get a feel for the car stock, and that way you can learn the car. I made that mistake. I just went straight into modifying, and by the time I knew it, I had a hacked up car, and I can't even remember what my car felt like when it was stock, and that's kind of sad because I kind of missed that. But yeah, so for number 1, just driver mod, learn you guys' car. Don't just jump straight into the modifications because cars take learning. Okay, so back outside the car for modification number 2, and that's going to be a good set of wheels and tires. So I've got mine here. They're dirty, so excuse me, but this mod I think is probably the most game-changing mod that you can do for your car. 1, because it just makes the car look a lot better, especially if you don't like the wheels from the factory. This is going to be a very big upgrade. But the other thing is just the tire. So quite frankly, the factory P0s that come on these cars suck, and it's a terrible rubber band tire. I think it's a 245, 275, and it's just not a good tire. And at this point, a lot of people are starting to buy the 5th gen Camaro, but mine's a 2015. It's already 2024. It's 9 years old. If it's still on the factory tire, those tires are old and they need to go. So upgrading your wheel setup, your wheels and your tires, it's going to be a big upgrade. Why? Well, a lot of people underrate what the tire or your wheel setup even does for a car. Now, in this case, I've got 315s and 275s in the front, but just a better compound is going to do a lot for you. Now, if you want to keep the factory wheels, you can do that. I still recommend changing your tire. Here's why. Corner entry and corner exit get better on a better compound, and if you want to do something bigger, right, the width bigger, then more power to you. Your braking gets better. Your tire compound and your tire size has more to do with your braking than even your brakes do. Your acceleration obviously gets better, especially with a better compound, right? So all of these things, all of these crucial performance aspects get better, and you also get the benefit of the car, I think, looking so much better. Still, if this is your first mod, I think you want to do the best bang for your buck and a tire setup definitely does that. Now, if you're a daily driver, I would honestly suggest doing a square setup, maybe something like 295 square. That's going to take you a lot further than a staggered setup would, because then you get to rotate your tires on all four corners. And the square setup on these 5th gens actually does really good. So if that's something that you're doing, then I would suggest doing that. If you want a staggered setup, then I would just go with the factory Z01 spec, which is a 285/305. And if you're a drag racer, now's the perfect time, if you like your stock wheels, to go ahead and invest in your drag setup. And even just from going from the factories to your drag setup, I mean, you're looking at shaving a half second off your quarter mile just by doing that, changing your tires out. So the tires, the wheel upgrade, it's a perfect first mod. You get a lot for the money, and for a first mod, I think that's something that you want. Okay, so for mod number 2, which is technically number 3, but we did a driver mod for number 1, so that's very confusing.
Aha! I understand everything now.
Anyway, coilovers. Right now, my car is on lowering springs, and that's the biggest mistake that I made on my car. I wish I just would have done coilovers. So we already talked about how these cars are getting old, and another thing that likes to go are the factory struts. So in my case, I put lowering springs on the factory struts. As soon as I did it, my ride got super bad. Yeah, I got some handling benefit, but the ride is horrible. It's one of those, oh, I'm sorry rides that as soon as somebody's in your car and you hit a bump, you look over and you say, oh my God, hey, I'm sorry that the car's like this, right? Coilovers are going to change that. Plus, they give you adjustability. I would not spend anything less than Petter's level of coilover. So something like $1,200. Do not go lower than that. If you can do the Petters, I've heard great things about the Petters. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And if you can take it up a step higher, maybe some KWs, maybe something that's drag specific if that's what you're looking for your car. But do something quality, and it's going to give you so many benefits, just like the tires, right? You can lower that center of gravity, you have adjustability, your damping, your rebound, and all of that stuff that we can talk about in another video. But the coilovers are another one of those mods that is just a lot of bang for the buck. Especially if you buy quality, you're gonna get a lot of adjustability. It's gonna ride nice, and also these cars from the factory look like monster trucks. And so right now it's 1.25 inches lowered on lowering springs, but you get to make your stance a lot better. So don't be like me, don't get lowering springs, invest in some good coilovers, and that's another mod that'll take you very, very far. Okay, so coming into the engine bay, the next mod is gonna be exhaust. Now, as you can see here, I've got my headers, and I'm actually running the factory catback. What I can't say for exhaust, like I've been saying this whole video, is buy quality exhaust. So I'm running Speed Engineering headers into the factory catback, and I'm gonna tell you right now, don't buy Speed Engineering. I'm already having a bunch of problems with these headers. I wish out front I just would have bought Cooks or American Racing, or even something mid-tier like Stainless Power, and gotten them ceramic coated. So if you are going to do headers, I have a whole separate video on headers. I'll try and put that here or in the description, but do it the right way. It is a system upgrade. You might have to do spark plugs, you might have to do plug wires or plug boots. You have to heat shield the starter, and I obviously, like I said, get them ceramic coated, send them to Jet Hot, which is going to be another $500 give or take, but all of that is worth it in the long run. Buy quality headers. Now for the catback, I suggest going Corsa. There's also Borla. I know Stainless Power or Stainless Works makes their exhaust system, and I've heard good things about those too, but Corsa is kind of that benchmark. You're going to get awesome sound, you're going to get awesome quality, and you're getting no drone. But if you do that, you're looking at spending at least another $1,500 depending on the system you get. So all in all, with good headers that are ceramic coated, and with the catback, you're looking at, I mean, $3,000 at least. So that is a big step up. But what does that get you, right? The driving feel, the driving experience is going to be way better. The car is going to sound awesome. It's going to feel alive. So that's going to increase. Quality, obviously those things are expensive, but the quality is going to last you a lifetime. You know what I mean? They're expensive for a reason, right? It's quality stuff. And number 3, you're sort of taking that car to that next level of waking it up, right? These cars from the factory are kind of slouches. They're very heavy. It's a very conservative tune from GM. And uncorking the exhaust is the easiest way to wake your car up. And it's just going to put a big smile on your face. And so building on that, the last thing I suggest doing is getting a quality tune from a reputable tuner. Now, like I just said, from the factory, these cars are kind of sluggish, and for a reason. Not everybody wants to go fast, but a quality tune is gonna wake the car up, especially if you added the headers like we said in the last step, right? If you add headers, you absolutely need a tune. Some people drive around with their headers without a tune, and you're just leaving so much on the table, and plus that's not even good for the car. Obviously the car can adjust, but you do need to get it tuned. That's why a tune is suggested when you do headers. But doing that tune is going to do a lot for you, right? Your shift feel is going to be different. Obviously you're going to pick up some horsepower, and it's just going to wake the car up. Again, I do stress going to a reputable tuner. Go with somebody that has a lot of experience on the platform, somebody that's been doing it for a while, because a tune, among all other things, is something that's going to help keep your car alive for longer, especially if you go with somebody reliable. If you go to some hanky-janky shop and then your motor starts to click, that's kind of your fault. You know what I mean? Go to somebody that has a good track record, get a good tune, and I promise, when I got this car tuned for the first time, it was just headers and a cold air intake. When I got it tuned for the first time, I remember just feeling like, man, I've got a race car. You know what I mean? Like it was the best thing in the world. I'll never forget Unlimited Performance in Corpus Christi. But anyway, I'm reminiscing, right? But get a good tune, man. It's going to put everything that we just talked about, it's going to bring it all together. Now, the last thing I want to say before closing this video out is that this is a one size fits most type of video. Obviously, there's some people that have different goals for their car, whether it's going to be extreme track car or road racing car or drag car or whatever, right? But for the 80% of people that are buying into this platform because it's coming down in price, it's getting more affordable, I suggest these 5 mods, right? Learn your car, get a good exhaust system, get a good tune, get some wheels, get some coilovers. You do all of that stuff, and the list of benefits is crazy, right? You get a better driving experience, you get a louder exhaust, the car's gonna look better, it's gonna handle better, corner entry, corner exit, all that stuff that we talked about is gonna get way better. And if you do things the right way, you get quality parts, you go to a quality tuner, you're getting extreme reliability, because these LSs will go forever. The 6L80 will go forever, right? So you do all of this stuff, you get your 5 mods, and you have a car that is just that factory plus. It's the car that you can drive every day, you can enjoy driving, it puts a big smile on your face. And from a sports car, or I guess a muscle car, before people get upset that I call it a sports car, right? From a muscle car, what more do you want, right? So I don't know, you're asking me. I think this is the best top 5 mods list. I've taken some time to think this through. I never want to give you guys bad advice. If you take anything from this video, please learn from me, save your money, and buy quality parts. Anyways, guys, if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Dylan Lustig. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. I do my best to answer all the comments. Again, thank you guys for 600 subscribers. And until the next video, I'm out here.